Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirsten Beef, part 2 of the podcast this week. For all of our South African fans that are joining us, that like and subscribe, that comment on every video we have, we see you and we appreciate you. So thank you for joining us on this podcast. Come for the rugby, stay for the Rugby Championship, Beav. We have had 5 incredible rounds of rugby, 5 rounds of rugby that could have gone either way and have gone either way. 1 to go and 1 to get. Who is the team that wins this trophy?
Well, we're going to need
One's in the box seat.
No pun intended, but the box are in the box seat. Look, we're going to need our South American friends to turn around that performance, and certainly they are capable of it. The amazing thing about that is with 20 minutes to go, 39-30, so 9 the difference. And then it just gets absolutely massive from the box. And it's not too dissimilar to the game beforehand in Wellington, where it was very close all game, and then all of a sudden, bang, box got momentum and things started to happen for them. It was an amazing game of footy. As I said, up until the 60th minute, you thought this could go either which way. But just some of the tries, some of the, I think our great friends over in South Africa on Super Sport called it crazy what was unfolding as far as the game goes. You had the Cheslin Colby little incident.
Bizarre. What was he doing?
But no, I feel for him there. Because,
oh, come on. Explain it, Beef.
Because you're just getting the ball over to your mate. And it's one of those situations where ball's dead, I'll just kick it over. And, obviously it was the drop kick, which was the reason it unfolded like it did. But I mean, you do that at training all the time, and Cheslin looks like a footballer, just switches on, switches off in between when ball's in play, and he's probably just thought the ball's not in play. I'll just get it over to my mate to do the restart. So I feel a bit sorry for Cheslin, but
that's probably his one flaw in 12 years of international rugby.
Yeah, well, someone talked to me about that since I said, look, his bank credit with Russie is pretty high. So I don't think
he's allowed to make one mistake.
I don't think Russie's even got it in him to go after him in a review. I just think players might have been sitting there waiting for it to see if Cheslin's going to get pulled up here. I'd say it's a move on. I'd say Russie's already got the tape.
Play on, is it?
Yeah, if you've done what he's done for me, he'll be saying you can do one of those a year. But it was incredible. Some of the tries, and again, we knew it would be like this, but from the team that they picked, that it was going to be that, I guess, what we saw in Wellington, the new Springboks, if we can call it that, as far as style and how they want to play.
When you talk about these new Springboks, again, it is such a shame we didn't get to see Sacha feinberg-mngomezulu play for 80 minutes in Wellington. The biggest shame of all, when we've just seen what he did to the Pumas over there in Durban, Beav. How good is this guy? I know we've been saying it for the last few years that clearly he's the future and he could end up being a future great. But what did we just see in 80 minutes? An complete individual performance like the Dan Carter against the Lions.
Yeah, and it was complete, and he is complete. You look at him, and there's not many boxes that aren't ticked. He's clearly impressive. His speed off the mark and his ability, he put in a clearing kick. We'll call it a clearing kick of 60 metres. And yes, if I'm Argentina, I'm thinking, why was that space there? But you've never seen it before, where a guy puts in that length of kick and then he's the first one there to score the try off the back of it. That just shows what sort of speed he's got from a top end point of view. But when I talk about physically, he's so quick off the mark, Kirsty, you've got to defend him. And where that flows into the rest of his game and makes him so great is his skill level. So he can combine his physical gifts, which is obviously the speed off the mark, and he looks like he's a big enough character to be able to ride the odd tackle and fend and what have you. But the physical gifts with his skill set, and by that, it's the ability to pass, catch, and kick without the defence knowing which one of those three you're going to do. And how he does that is, unlike a lot of 10s out there, I guess, when he's getting the ball out the back of those Springbok forwards, who's now their skill level is of such that is now so smooth, where in the past it might have been a bit of clunkiness, but it is so smooth, their speed of hand, he's getting the ball. And when he gets the ball, Curse, instead of, I guess, getting parallel with touchlines, he's actually squaring up. And so what that instantly does is it opens up his vision to see what's in front of him. So then I think you saw in the first five or so minutes, he gets the ball out the back of one of those shapes and sees there's a little bit of space in behind, and he does a little grubber to himself, and he almost gets on the end of that. And the fact that it's his speed to be able to do it, it's his skill set to be able to play square, look up, see it, do it. Yeah, some of the cross kicks, like you see a lot of people these days doing cross kicks, but they're standing still when they get it, Curse, and everyone knows they're doing a cross kick because that's the body language that they're giving. And therefore, what does that do? It means the fullback's probably a bit wary, so he will go across to that wide channel, the winger might hold, what have you, and all of a sudden, is it going to be as effective or not? If you saw a couple of his cross kicks, I mean, one was absolutely pinpoint perfect to Cheslin Colby out on the wing, but he did it on the run. So he wasn't setting himself to do this cross kick. He caught the ball, and as I said, at the time, because of his physical gifts and his skill set, he could have passed, he could have thrown a dummy and had a crack at a tiring Argentinian defence, which there was space there. But no, on the run, he was able to drop it, land the most perfect crossfield kick you could imagine, and away he goes. And I guess with all of that attacking brilliance, he's still got those attributes that Rusty will want from his first five as far as his goal kicking, as far as his tactical kicking goes. So he is so complete, Kirst, and we obviously all know, like Roygaard, he's only just starting to bank big games starting. So there's a future there,
so what is the ceiling on this guy then, Beef? What is the ceiling, considering we haven't seen him in international rugby? Would he have played more than 10 tests?
He's certainly been around probably a good couple of years, but probably hasn't played and started that many. It'd be touch and go. Certainly wouldn't be more than 20.
Always rotate their teams. And when you've got 3 first fives like they do in there, I don't know if he would have played that many more than 10.
No, well, did you see what Lebok did when he came on and scored that unbelievable try? So it certainly looks like the way that they're headed, the future for the Springboks. And I just think with Sacha in particular, we might be on the verge of, seeing someone who, dare I say, could challenge our own when it's all said and done. And I will say, geez, it helps too that he's playing behind that pack, to the platform that he knows he can get and knows he can dictate his game to what's coming from him. He knows he's going to have a strong set piece. He knows he's going to have good forward carriers to get him momentum or bail out too if it's not quite on for him or his back. So it's a beautiful thing at the moment, because it's almost the perfect storm for the Springboks. And unfortunately, a horrible storm for the rest of the world, because you've got this monster forward pack, and now with this multi-talented, threatening 10 who could unlock anything.
Yeah, unlock anything, these incredible backs that they also have. And when you look at the last 2 weeks and what they did to the All Blacks in Wellington and the Pumas in Durban with this new team, Beeve, like, what are they capable of in 2 years' time once they get more rugby under their belt playing like this? Surely, and we're All Blacks all day till we die, but surely they are heavy favourites to win a 3rd Rugby World Cup.
Oh, I think right now they're going to rock into Australia in a couple of years' time as favourites. Heavy favourites is probably probably too far for me, because at the end of the day, what we're seeing from them is an ability to chop and change their team with all this talent. But when it comes down to it, you can only put 15 on the field, you can only put 8 on the bench, and then it's on the day. And we've seen enough of sport, we've seen enough of World Cup fixtures to know that big, heavy favouritism going into a World Cup and what have you doesn't always equate to, winning titles. So, without a shadow of a doubt, they're going to have so much depth. They can go to a World Cup or get into the World Cup year knowing that, if we get an injury in this position, disappointing, but we'll be able to cover it because we've got so much depth. And And I guess maybe that's Rusty's plan for the next year or so. He just keeps turning them over, so when they come to the World Cup, they know that if there is an issue, that they're going to be able to throw someone in. Remember, this is a team that didn't have a hooker at the last World Cup once Marks got injured and what have you. So they find ways to create, but I guess that might have been enough to signify to Rusty, right, we're going to find some people across all our positions and build a bit of a depth chart, to use a bit of American sport terminology there for you, Kirst.
So, Beav, on that, the fact that South Africa have so much depth at 10 right now, to be fair, the All Blacks do as well, and you've already mentioned the fact that we have 2 right now, plus another is coming back, and you could add Ruben Love in there as a fourth as well. When, for any of these teams, whether it's South Africa, All Blacks, whoever, when do they need to actually have their number one side and play them all the way through to the World Cup? Is that something that needs to happen World Cup year? Is that something that needs to happen next year? When would you expect these teams to know their 15 plus their 8 on the bench and play them consistently?
Yeah, well, I think it so often depends on how your team's travelling, isn't it? You know, like if you're South Africa, you can keep rolling the dice on a few, and then, you know, you've got so much depth and you want to keep so many people interested, you know, and all striving, then you might not commit until the year before, the year of the World Cup, and then get them some combinations. I mean, it often doesn't matter if your forward pack's got the nucleus together and then all of a sudden you're making changes in the back line, or vice versa. But I don't think there'd be too many teams right now thinking World Cup 15s and 23s, Kirst. I think there's still a finding out period for a lot of them. You think about the Wallabies who are moving in the right direction, but they certainly wouldn't be thinking World Cup right now. Often world teams going into the World Cup the year before, when they go on those end of year tours, that they might treat it if they know they've got a big 3 games in a row. I remember Foster and Hansen did this on one of their end of year tours. They knew they had 2 or 3 big games in a row, so they thought, right, we're going to treat this like the knockout stages of a World Cup. So you've seen it before, certainly, but from a player's point of view, I don't think there's any way that, certainly from our point of view, that Razor would be thinking World Cup team and locking that sort of in right now, because there's just so many question marks still, I guess.
So many question marks?
Is that question marks?
Are there so many?
Well, there's no way. Even if smart people like me and you named our All Black 15 for World Cup final right now, I reckon
we should do that.
I reckon would be fairly different to what actually unfolds.
I think we'd get pretty close. I think our forward pack would be. I think our forward pack would pretty much be locked in.
Loose forwards, you'd be confident around naming your 3 for World Cup final right now. Two. Yeah.
But probably 3. To be fair, the way that Fabian Holland's played, Beav, I feel like he's got to be a starting lock with Scott Barrett, which pushes Tupou back to 6, doesn't it?
Oh.
Unless he's on the bench. But then Paddy's so good off the bench as well.
Yeah, you'd be doing tough to convince me that Tupou Va'a's is not in your top 15.
Yeah, starting 6.
Starting 6, there you go.
Maybe we need to name this. Could you name, let's put it out to the people first, to all of our wonderful subscribers and viewers, name your All Blacks 15 to play. Let's say they make it. I'm not assuming that they're just going to make the World Cup final in 2 years. But let's say they make it. Who's playing? Pick your starting 15 right now, and in a few years we'll go back to this, and Beav and I will select ours as well. Do you think you'd be way off, Beav?
I reckon there'll be somebody.
I don't think there's that many question marks.
There will be somebody that plays that World Cup final for us that has not been capped yet.
A winger, probably.
Don't know. Just saying. There always is.
Yeah, but that's one. You said there's a lot of question marks. A lot? A lot seems like an over-exaggeration to me. A lot makes people go, a lot? Hold on a minute. Where are all these question marks?
Possibly an exaggeration, but...
Yeah. Thank you.
Know,
big exaggeration.
Moving on. We're in a rabbit hole.
Okay, we are in a rabbit hole. But yes, do comment. South Africa keep winning, Beef.
Yep.
They keep winning on and off the field. And what I'm talking about here is Chasing the Sun. There was the first documentary, and now Chasing the Sun 2 has come out and has been nominated for an Emmy Award. You know those big glitz and glamour television movie awards that they have, the
Yes.
Emmys. It's been nominated, Beav. And I remember you saying when Chasing the Sun, the original, came out, it was one of your favourite things.
Well, I must admit, Chasing the Sun too, I have got a friend in South Africa who may have not sent me a few links illegally, and I don't think I can get done. But I actually never saw a final episode because, as I said, those illegal links got shut down by the authority before I could watch the last one, and I didn't want to know that they'd played us in the final and won. But no, to be fair, they are cool docos, especially I guess if you know your footy and you're into sports, docos we've obviously been built into the American ones through Netflix and that a lot, but these ones are pretty cool. You get to see the inner workings. So it is pretty fly on the wall stuff. I can't imagine they've taken much out because they get pretty personal in situations and confrontational. So no, it's legit, Kirst, and there you go.
What's Russie like in these series?
Oh, you fall in love with him. Like,
do you?
Oh, you certainly would want to play for him. He is so straight and so upfront with them all. It's classic. And with his coaches, and I of course, if you remember, they lost that pool game to Ireland, and that's when obviously Ireland thought they were going to win the World Cup, and South Africa were one loss away from being out of the World Cup, and they still had to play Scotland, who everyone was talking up. That could potentially be a flip of the coin game, and just the way Russie went about his work and reviewing that, there were some shots fired.
Doesn't matter now though, does it?
No.
It's all said and done.
Makes a better story and lead you to an Emmy, I guess.
If you fall in love with Russie, was there anyone else that you fell in love with?
Some of the boys have some amazing stories of where they're from. Obviously South Africa is such a contrasting world. A lot of them are from your townships with not much, and and brought up by grandparents, aunties, with literally no one at times. And some of the stories around that, I know they went back to Box village and what have you. They talk about the Ox's rise and all the rest of it. So, and I think we all knew the Mapimpi story about how previously they had to put their names on the jerseys from family members or photos or something, and he just had a photo of himself and said, "This is me," sort of thing. So, there are some pretty cool stories in it, no doubt about it.
We'll have to find those links that you're talking about, Beav, and check out Chasing the Sun 1 and 2.
Can't get my mate in trouble.
Here's a question that's come through, some instant reaction, because we always read everything. Hey guys, can we talk about the Heartland Championship? Beav, if you had to suit up for one Heartland team, who would it be and why? This text says, "Come on, the Hammers."
Ooh. Well, unfortunately, I love...
What team's the Hammers?
The Hammers is South Canterbury, is it not?
South Canterbury.
Is South Canterbury the Hammers?
So, I think it is.
Because
Green and
is
yellow?
the Butcherman. We better clear that up before we let that go to air. No, if I had to pick a Heartland team... See, I like to play teams I've got a connection to and feel something for, so it'd have to be the Swamp Foxes.
Is the Swamp Foxes looking for a 10?
No, I couldn't imagine it. This is not me putting my hand up. This is me answering the question of one of our great listeners to say which Heartland team. It would probably be the Swamp Foxes, connections to the Valley and what have you. So, yep, I'd be a Thames Valley man. On that though, and our instant reactions, Kez, went out and about after or pre-game into the Sky fan zone at Eden Park. Geez, I thought we only had a couple of listeners. They are everywhere. People coming up and saying love the potty, love the aftermatch. So great to meet you at Eden Park, all you guys that came up, and keep replying, and be good to see you and have a beer with you.
Brilliant. How was that? Was the 5 o'clock kickoff and the party that went around Eden Park?
It's got to be locked in, and that is how we do things. game day experience is something that has been talked about by this country for too long and nothing done about it. Like, let's not beat around the bush. You are organising a party for people who are paying money to go to the game, and that helps make a day of it, and it helps bring atmosphere. And what they had at Eden Park, I think it was good. It scratched the surface, but I think moving forward, it has to be the done thing for every test match in this country. And I think you can make them bigger and better. They had DJs there and music there 3 or 10 o'clock at night, which helped because it was a 5 o'clock game. There was food trucks, there was lots and lots of tables and sitting areas, and there was jumping castles for the kids. There was interaction. You could pretend to be you could audition to be the next Sky commentator for an NPC game. There was giveaways. It was outstanding. But for those listening from overseas, we just don't do what you guys do overseas and make a day of it in this country. And that is hopefully the start of things to come.
Okay, I just remembered something else, which I didn't like. The flyover. Why are we stealing what South Africa do?
Yeah, look, the flyover.
We don't need to steal people's ideas.
No, but if you're going to steal it properly and drop some black and white spray paint out the back.
That was such a fizzer. There was no fireworks, no nothing.
And I don't know if they got as low. Like, you need to be literally skimming the top of the light towers. That's how low they need to get.
You're nervous.
Yeah.
And in South Africa, they do those big Emirates, like Airbuses. They are huge, the noise. As you say, they've got like the green and yellow stream coming out the back. The whole stadium's like alight and waiting for it. That was a flop, if you ask me.
Well, they do them at Dubai Sevens too, and they literally, you feel like, hang on, how low is this thing? Because you're worried it's going to take your head off. Yeah, so no, but a few work-ons, but by and large, I like the effort that's going into our pre-game activities and trying to make a day of our test matches, because we have been poor at this, and hopefully the Sky fan zone out the back of Eden Park is something that will become a regular on our test day scene.
There you go. A+ for effort. Thank you all for joining us, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Go and follow us on all the social media channels to make sure you always get updated, and like and subscribe as well. You've got a bit of homework to do, chasing the sun too. If you find those links, drop them in the comments. And would you be able to name the All Blacks team to play in the final in 2 years' time? Let us know, and we'll see you soon.